Welcome to this explainer. Okay, imagine for a second stepping right out your back door into a world where the very ground you walk on holds the absolute key to your family's well-being. Today, we're going to unlock the essential survival apothecary together. We're exploring the forgotten, beautifully earthy, and historically powerful knowledge of 15 crisis-critical herbs. These are the plants that are literally growing quietly all around us, just waiting to be rediscovered.
So, it's a pretty heavy question, right? What actually happens when pharmacies run dangerously low, supply chains completely fail, and people suddenly have to start looking for natural alternatives again? In a true crisis scenario, your family's ability to just pivot and find alternatives right outside your door is absolutely paramount. We've grown so incredibly accustomed to the convenience of modern systems, but when those systems falter, knowing what to look for out in nature doesn't just stay a fun little hobby, it becomes a vital, non-negotiable survival skill.
Think about it. Throughout human history, through wars, devastating plagues, intense shortages, and these really long periods of isolation, people turned to herbs. And they definitely didn't do it because these plants were some trendy new wellness fad on the internet. They did it simply because they were there. They were available. Our ancestors survived with these wild plants, which makes this forgotten knowledge incredibly precious. The 15 plants we're about to cover could easily become priceless all over again.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is how we're breaking down this practical survival guide agenda today. We'll be looking at 1. The Family Survival Pantry, 2. The Herbal Field Medic, and 3. The Calming Cup.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the Family Survival Pantry. This chapter is all about securing nutrition and food preservation.
When grocery store shelves empty out, real survivalists look straight to the yard. Now, most people spend their summer weekends waging this relentless, never-ending war on dandelions, right? But historically, they are a completely vital survival tonic. Nearly the entire plant can be used for something, whether you're brewing mineral-rich herbal teas or using it for raw nutritional support. Because it grows basically everywhere, the humble dandelion might just be one of the most important, critically overlooked survival foods on Earth.
And this brilliantly illustrates how some plants are double threats. It's actually amazing to realize that the mulberry tree is an absolute powerhouse. It is far more than just a sweet fruit. Historically, it provided those berries for essential nutrition and survival food, while its leaves were harvested for herbal teas and traditional wellness uses. Offering both food and herbal value from the exact same source, that is exactly the kind of efficiency that becomes extremely important for a family trying to get by during a shortage. Moving on to some absolute pantry staples, we've got stinging nettle and garlic. Now, you might totally avoid nettle because of its sting, and fair enough, it hurts, but secretly, it's a highly valuable wild plant that grows like crazy and contains nutrients absolutely critical for survival food and energy-supporting teas. And then, well, there's garlic. Ancient civilizations relied on this stuff heavily during times of disease and food scarcity. It's incredibly easy to grow, stores super well, and was historically a primary tool for both immune support and preserving the food you already had.
Let's shift gears now to Section 2, the Herbal Field Medic, where we'll focus on first aid and respiratory support.
Imagine a scenario where you can't just run down to an urgent care clinic. You'll need plants like Yarrow. This plant has one of the darkest, most fascinating histories in all of herbal medicine. Most of us walk right past it on a hike today, but before modern hospitals even existed, Yarrow was actually carried directly into battlefields. For centuries, herbalists valued it specifically for traditional bleeding support and survival medicine. It was quite literally humanity's frontline defense for physical trauma.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the incredible connection to modern medicine. Long before aspirin was ever manufactured in a sterile lab, people were turning to willow bark. Historically, it was used in herbal wellness practices for discomfort and fever support. In fact, compounds found naturally right in the willow bark actually helped inspire the development of the modern aspirin we use today. It really goes to show that a lot of modern medicine started right out there with these ancient, wild plants.
For wild respiratory relief, mullein and red clover are basically your go-to pair. Mullein really stands out. You can easily identify it by its tall stalk and these amazingly soft, fuzzy leaves. It actually always regains massive popularity for supportive teas whenever local air quality drops. Red clover, on the other hand, well, it's often totally dismissed as a nuisance weed. Yet, because it grows so widely and effortlessly, it's always been a survivalist's dream, valued for generations in wellness tonics, skin support traditions, and critical respiratory preparations. Bringing us to our final chapter, Section 3, the Calming Cup. Here we're focusing on stress and digestion relief.
Because, let's be honest, in any real crisis, just managing severe stress and digestion is like half the battle. Take marshmallow, for example, and yes, it is a real, actual plant. Long before that fluffy, sugary campfire candy came along, traditional herbalists highly valued marshmallow root for its naturally soothing and coating properties. During difficult, high-stress times, having a versatile herb like this to use in throat support remedies and soothing digestion blends becomes incredibly valuable.
We all know oregano, right? It's the standard pizza seasoning in everyone's pantry. But its true historical power actually lies in traditional herbal medicine, where it was heavily used for digestion support and respiratory wellness. What makes oregano a genuinely top-tier survival herb is its incredibly long shelf life, how easy it is to store, and its really potent, strong flavor. Honestly, this simple kitchen spice is far more vital during a shortage than almost anyone realizes.
When stress hits an absolute boiling point, we turn to the mint family, specifically lemon balm and catnip. Lemon balm has this beautifully gentle, soothing reputation. It's traditionally used for relaxation, sleep, and calming down a frayed nervous system without being harsh. And catnip? Actually, scratch that idea that it's just to make your cats act crazy. Humans have used it for centuries in calming herbal teas to provide digestion comfort and sleep support. During deeply stressful times, calming herbs like these become just as vital as the nutritional ones.
We are wrapping up our calming cup with 3 really powerful roots and seeds. You can use sweet licorice root to soothe irritated throats and combine it perfectly with bitter herbs. You can stash away fennel seeds for long periods of scarcity when stomach comfort is desperately needed. And of course, you can rely on dried ginger as arguably the world's most trusted historical defense against cold season nausea.
So what does this all mean for us today? The crucial point is this. The modern world has sort of made us forget how absolutely important plants once were. Now, to be clear, this doesn't mean herbs completely replace modern medicine. But understanding traditional plants, engaging in a little survival gardening, and preserving this forgotten herbal knowledge, that empowers your family. It means you are going to be ready, and you are going to be resilient, even if modern systems fail.
I want to leave you with a final, slightly provocative thought to really chew on. If supply chains completely failed tomorrow, which of these herbs would you desperately want growing in your own backyard? Think about it for a bit and take a few steps to empower yourself. If you enjoyed this explainer and you want to continue uncovering the incredible power of natural wellness and survival preparedness, be sure to subscribe for more explainers just like this one. Catch you next time.